Hey guys, so some of you have asked how I make my videos and why they look good, and the reason is, well, all of the things that you just saw. I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes look at what I do to create some of my YouTube videos for my students and how I set up my Zoom calls. It's not something that's going to necessarily be accessible or even doable for everyone, but since I did get a couple questions about my videos, I wanted to make a quick one to show you how it works. The first thing is that I'm not using a webcam. So the camera that I'm using is a camera that I use for photography and I use to make videos outside of school as well. And it's made by Canon. Canon has a software called Webcam Utility where you can take any Canon camera and turn it into a webcam. So this might apply to some of you that have your own home camera that you take your family videos with that isn't a phone. You can actually plug it in with a USB and it becomes a webcam, and it's already going to be way better than what is just built into the computer. The number one thing that you could apply to your videos is controlling the light. If I were to just use the lights in my classroom, it would not look the way that it looks right now. So you'll notice that this side of my face has some light on it, this side of my face has some light on it, the background is a little bit darker, and the reason why is because I have different lights going on. Then you'll notice I also closed the blinds in my room just so that I am in more control of the light that's coming into my room. If you don't have lights, the other thing that you can do is just move your setup right to a window so that you have this kind of same effect. So this kind of looks like I'm sitting by a window, but I'm not. Okay, so that's how I set up all of my camera and lights and things like that. The next thing that I do is I use the software produced by Canon to turn my camera into a webcam. And I'll put a link in the description of this video if you happen to have a Canon camera. And it doesn't have to be like a really expensive one. I think a lot of the even point and shoot cameras that a lot of us might have, I know I still have mine, I think those also can be used as a webcam, which will probably be better than the laptop. Okay, and so that software is called Canon Webcam Utility, and it integrates into applications like Zoom, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Google Hangouts, Google Chrome, pretty much anything that you would need a streaming something for. It even works with Canvas. I know in Canvas you can record videos directly using their software, and my camera will work for that as well. So anything that you use a webcam for, the Canon Webcam Utility can turn your camera into a webcam. And so that works for Zoom for my videos, and that's how I interact with my students. When I'm making other content, like instruction videos or other content type videos or this tutorial, I use a software to edit my videos called Premiere Pro. At West Jordan High School, we have access to all of the Adobe products, mostly. But that's things like Premiere Pro, which I'm using to edit this video, that is Lightroom and Photoshop, is Dreamweaver to create an HTML website. If you're into that, I have not very much experience there. But really anything, you can animate your PDFs and graphics to make them more interactive for your students. So there's like a ton of resources that we have at our fingertips, and I think with being virtual and not having students in the classroom the whole time, now is kind of a really good time to improve our skills and to take it a little bit further if you want. Anyways, so I'm going to jump into Premiere Pro now and show you essentially how I'm editing this video. Alright, so before I just jump into how I make my videos, I want to just give you a disclaimer that this is not going to be a...
Cyrus Webster, please come to the Counseling Center.
Oh, the
Again,
woes
Cyrus
of
Webster,
virtual learning
here in the building.
and creating
Please
content.
come to the Counseling Center.
Okay, so as I was saying, this isn't going to be an in-depth tutorial on how to use Premiere Pro from a beginner's perspective, but how to use Premiere Pro after you have done some of the tutorials and gotten used to the software. What you'll need to do first, if you don't have Premiere Pro, is download it. So Google Adobe Creative Cloud and download this application manager. It'll ask you to create an account. Just sign in with Google with your district email, and it should set you up to have all of these professional level software tools. Download Premiere Pro, and to learn about Premiere Pro, how to use it, click these 3 buttons in the application manager, click on Learn More, and it takes you here. And there are these 4 Premiere Pro courses, and of course you could click View More. If you click on the Get Started course, it will open a web page where you can download sample files and launch Premiere Pro and follow along with these videos and learn about all of the tools, all of the tricks, all of the things that are included in this really powerful software. Okay, so this video that I'm going to continue with is kind of assuming that you've had a little bit of experience and that you have used Premiere Pro before, or at least have gone through some of the tutorials. Okay, so now that you've learned a little bit about Premiere Pro, how to use it, what I want to do is just really quickly go through the different techniques that I use to overlay a video on top of a screen recording. You can use screen recording software which automatically embeds the video file into the screen recording, which is super easy to do, but I like to have a little more freedom of creativity, so that's why I do it this way. The first thing that I want to do is make a copy of the video file of me just talking to the camera. And it's easy to do with a shortcut by holding down the Option key on a Mac or Alt on a keyboard, clicking and dragging that video file up to a new track. Okay, so now I have this. And because in the end I want it to be just during the screen recording part, I'm also going to select this top track and move my cursor to the beginning, click and drag this so it is the same size here. Let me make this smaller, and the same thing on the end. I'll click and I'll drag it here. So now the videos are matched up perfectly, but the problem is that when I get to the part where I want my video to be in the corner, it's still the same size. That's easy to do by clicking the video, going to the Effect Controls panel, and moving the mouse over the number 100 next to the word Scale. This changes the size of the image. So if I click and drag, it will make it smaller or bigger if I wanted to zoom in on my nose, but let's be real, my nose is already big enough. So we'll make it small, and that looks about right. I don't have a set number that I choose, but usually like around like 19, 20, 25, whatever, and that's about the size that I like to have it. Then for position, this moves the picture to the left or to the right. So we'll drag it and we'll move it to the right, and then we'll click and drag and move this to the bottom, and there you go. If all I wanted was just me talking to the camera at the beginning and then sharing my screen with a picture of me in the bottom, I would be done at this point. So I've recorded my video and that's there throughout the whole thing, and then it ends with me at the beginning or at the end ending the video. But like I said, like to have a little more creative freedom, and so I'll show you the other feature that I do a lot that you'll probably notice in this video, is where I have a screen recording and I have a video in the corner, and then all of a sudden it just snaps to a video of me with no screen and it's full screen again. Here's how that works. Again, because these are layers, I have already made marks where I know that I'm going to be talking to the camera, and so just to save time for this video. So what I'll do is I'll press C on my keyboard to get the razor tool to cut, and I will make a cut on the top video, and I'll make a cut on the middle video, and then I can click on this other mark, or I could just kind of go through to where I know I'm looking at the camera and where I stop looking at the camera, and I'll make more cuts. So I'll cut right here and I'll cut right there. So now I've made these cuts, I can go back to my selection tool by clicking this or pressing the V button on my keyboard and click in the middle and delete those pieces. So now what happens is if we play it from here and paste it. So now I have the instructions, but my assignment in Google Docs is still in English. So I need to convert that as well. So and that's essentially how I go back and forth and put a video in the corner. There are lots of other things that I do use when editing videos, different techniques and things that I've learned along the way. But to just simply make a screen recording where you want a variety of looking at the screen or addressing your students, that's how I do it. Anyways, I really do hope that this video helps. If you are interested in learning more about Premiere Pro and you want to talk to a human, not a computer, let me know and I will be more than happy to come hang out with you for a little bit while we're all shut down and show you some stuff. You're also free to just come down to my room whenever you want as well. You guys are awesome, and yeah, we totally got this.